Okie dokie then, here we go. This is very exciting if you are a camera geek like me. The unboxing of the Canon XF200, their brand new model which replaces the very popular, very successful XF100. I'm going to stress that this video, oh incidentally look at that, big dent in the box. I'm going to blame the courier for that. This video is purely going to be the unboxing, and in the next day or so I will sort of publish a first impressions video, and then after that there'll be a series of test videos and crisp cardboard unboxing, listen to that, test videos and ultimately some sort of review conclusion. But here we go, this is absolutely pristine. I've received this about 10 minutes ago, so I haven't unboxed it myself and had a sneaky look through it. That's a little messy, a little disappointing. Look at that, it's all over the place. Again, I'll probably blame the courier for that. Right, what have we got? We've got an accessory guide, we've got a register your product thing, we've got some sort of, what's that, warranty information across Europe, a disc with the data import utility version 2.2 for Windows and Mac OS. Oh my, look at the size of the manual. Crikey. Instructional manual, it says what languages have we got? No, that is all English. That is a genuine all English instruction manual of many, many pages. Actually nice to have one of those instead of being given some sort of quick start guide and then asked to refer to the CD. This then must be the, oh crikey, oh blimey, this is like a library in a box. We've got the French, German, Italian and two others I don't recognise, but they appear to be possibly Russian or something like that. Anyway, good thick bedtime reading of instruction manuals. What's this? This is the thing about the Canon Professional Services program, which they like you to enroll in. Let's get to the exciting stuff. First treat in the box is a, well, I guess that's a shoulder strap of some sort. Yep, that's nice. Little padded carry strap. Fine. Just chuck that over there. And into the meat of the product. Forgive me making little excited noises, but I am. I love camcorders. They are super little toys. Now that, I'm pleased to see, a genuine charger. None of this leave the battery on the camera and then charge it on the camera nonsense. No, at this level of camcorder, it's not cheap by the way, about £3,000 including sales tax here in the UK, I would jolly well expect to get a charger. That doesn't stop some manufacturers, but there we go. Single battery only, but I'm not going to complain because it's nice to get one at all. And it's telling you that it will be flashing 3 times for 75% charge, twice for 50, and then presumably the light stays fully on when the battery is 100% charged. Okay, that is good. What else have we here? We have the little lens hood, rather like the lens hood on the XA20, XA25 models, I think, with a little flip switch. That's the wrong way up, isn't it? There we go. No, that's the right way up. Looking at it the way you're looking at it. There we go. Flips down. Marvellous. And a little screw on the side to screw it actually around the lens of the camera. Right, so far so good. What's next? What's that? That is a remote control. And once again, thank you, Canon, for actually including a genuine remote control. It's all very well having all these things controllable by Wi-Fi with your mobile phone, but there is a noticeable lag on that, and it's just not the same as pressing an actual button, being able to go through the menus like this. So I like having a real remote control. I use the one on my XA20 quite a lot, and I'm quite sure I shall use that one again. Okay, we have here the Eyepiece thingy. What do you call this thing? I'm going to call it a thingy. Thingy will do. Eye cup, I suppose. Nice and big. Yes, that will do its job perfectly adequately, I suspect. We've got a battery in here. Little, what sort of cell battery is that? A CR2025S, it says. CR2025S, I think. Yep. 3 volts. Anyway, that's for the remote controller. And next we have well, I'm not going to bother actually opening that up, but that's just a UK mains lead to go into the back of the charger, so it's not that exciting. I have several of them already over at my charging station. The battery itself, with one of those little check things you press, it's currently showing just one green LED, so it's not terribly charged. It's got a little cover, which is nice to have that little cover over the terminal so you don't accidentally short the battery out and start a fire of some sort. This is a BP955 and it has 4,900 milliamp hours, that's 37 watt hours, and it's 7.4 volts. And no doubt costs a fortune if you want another one from Canon. I'll go and check that out later. Right, nearly down to the actual camcorder itself, but just another couple of bits to go first. What is that? That's another part of the charger, isn't it? Oh, okay, I see what this is. This is some sort of cable that goes from the charger, presumably into the camcorder itself, if you want to run the camcorder off mains instead of off battery. Fine, I'll assume that's what that is. It looks like that kind of thing. So, a bit of packaging, and there's nothing else in here bar the camcorder, is there? Ooh, here it is. Okay, gently does it. Gently does it. This is not cheap, let me tell you. Ugh. Anything else in there? There's just one other thing in there. Let me set that aside for a second. And that is the little mounting for the shotgun mic that you would put on top of the camcorder. And it has two little screws there. I think what I'll probably do on this one is install the Rycote microphone mount that I tested in a video a little while ago, as it does provide better shock absorption and less handling noise than the standard mount. So as long as it'll fit on the new camcorder, I'll put that one on. Right, let me chuck that box away and we'll have a first quick look around. Shiny new toy. Oh my. That's pretty cool. I mean, you've got to admit that is pretty cool. What have we got here? It looks a little bit like an XF100, of course, but the first thing you notice is that whereas the 100 had a single ring on the front, which was switchable between focus and zoom, and then down here on the side it had a little dial to adjust exposure, here Canon have somehow managed to cram in the full standard 3 rings. So we'll have focus, zoom, and an exposure control. I just wonder how easy it is to use those. No, that should be fine. There's plenty of space for your fingers to get round there before they run into the handle. That will be absolutely fine. Very smooth, servo controlled, of course. They're not sort of genuine control rings in the sense that they're moving the elements themselves, but on this kind of camcorder, no great surprise there. The lens has gone up from a 10 times optical on the XF100 to a 20 times. I do believe that it is the same lens as found on the Canon XA20 and XA25. There it is. It does come with this little separate lens cap as well as the lens hood, which we spotted earlier. I might just pop that lens cap back on for the moment while having a peek around it. Obviously the standard handle, this is not removable, it's an integral part of the whole body itself. Normal XLR inputs on the side with the controls for how you want them set up here. That much I think is similar to the XF100. All kinds of control buttons along the side here. You've got peaking, zebras, a start-stop recording button on the front, a bit like a sort of shoulder mount camcorder. I quite like that. You can switch it on to full auto here. There's shutter on, off, gain, white balance. You've got push autofocus, manual or autofocus switching here, and an iris manual or auto. The zoom speed on the handle rocker is high, low or off, and you've got the usual additional control there. Cold shoe, obviously, screw thread to mount extra accessories. On the back, access to your menu buttons and a little tiny joystick to toggle through the menu options if you don't want to. Actually, I'm not even sure this is a touchscreen. The XA20 is a touchscreen, isn't it? I'm not sure if this one is. I'll find out when I power it up, I suppose. Inside again, yet more buttons. And one thing to note is that the buttons, many of them have functions on them, but they're also numbered. We're up to button 10 there, and I think there's a few more as well. I'm sure I counted on this, something like 11 or so, but I may be wrong, 11 or 13 assignable buttons, which is marvellous. Love assignable buttons. Infrared on-off there. You've got your two compact flash, ooh, they drop down, card slots, because it does take compact flash in the side here for 50 megabit 422 MPEG-2, which is the broadcast standard codec, but also down the bottom here you'll notice one little SD card slot. How does that open? Upwards or downwards? Upwards. And the camcorder can record 35 megabit MP4 to an SD card, supposedly at the same time that it's doing 50 megabit MPEG-2 to those, which is interesting. Tell you what else is interesting, an exhaust vent on the side. The XF200 from Sony has little vents on it because the processors in these things are now getting so hot with all the compression they're having to do. They need little vents to vent the chips. Yeah, XLR, as mentioned, 3.5mm microphone input. Decent sized rocker with, oh, bless you Canon, the little magnification for focusing right next there, just where you want it. Can you read? Actually, I'm not sure that is right where you want it. I'm not sure my fingers, perhaps I have odd hands, but I'm not sure my fingers will, when they're on there, I'm not sure they'll reach that easily. Might have preferred that to be ahead of the button instead of behind it, but hey, I'm not going to complain because that is relatively accessible. Big start-stop button there, and then the glorious thing about the handle, of course, this new handle, is it's got an unlock button just there, which if you press, gently does it, you should be able, I believe, to rotate the hat. There we go. A bit like the old Sony EX1R, you can now rotate the handle for a more comfortable operating position. I'm not sure how many, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't think it goes down, does it? No, 6 positions of adjustment on the handle. So if you prefer to work like that, or whatever, yeah, very nice indeed. And how does it feel? I haven't adjusted the strap, obviously, but, well, it's lightweight. It's lightweight, obviously, for a small camcorder. That should be very easy to carry about with you. Certainly something you could pop into hand luggage to take on an aeroplane. And of course it does have that broadcast compliant codec, notwithstanding that it's a single 3/3" chip inside here. I've seen many of the XF100s. You spot them occasionally in documentaries on telly, especially in things where the person doing the documentary is self-shooting. Where did I last spot one of these? It was on, there was a sort of survival program, Ed Stafford, something to do with Ed Stafford going around, I think it was called Survival with Ed Stafford, I may be wrong, or Exploring with Ed Stafford. Anyway, the point was, he was left on an island and he shot himself entirely with an XF100, so I can quite see that one of these would go down a storm for that kind of shooting. Oh, forgot to mention the ports on the back. Now this is the 200 model. The 205 is identical except that it has SDI out, whereas this one doesn't. I don't need it. But that's the only difference between the two models. That's the headphone jack, nicely convenient at the back. You've got AV out, little analog AV out, and a full-size HDMI there. What's that? That's DC in. There we go. That's the other end of that lead I was a bit confused about a minute ago. If you want to power the camcorder off the battery charger. And then down there. That, intriguingly, is a fully fledged wired LAN port. You can, supposedly, transfer files off this wirelessly using Wi-Fi, but also send them to an FTP or whatever and get the files off using good old-fashioned wired Ethernet. So that's an interesting option. Anyway, there you go. That's it. The unboxing, first impressions. I will obviously have to go and charge that battery for a goodly amount of time. Try and find out what on earth I've done with my compact flash cards. Been using SD on the XA20 for a long while. And S/S on the XF200. So anyway, I'll go and find those, do some tests, and come back with a sort of first impressions video as soon as I can. If you've got anything specific you would like tested on this camcorder, please do leave a comment in the comments field below if you're watching this on YouTube. and I'll try to do as many as I can. And any questions or whatever, yeah, just post them there as well. Right, if this video was useful to you and you'd like to encourage me in my testing, please do give the video a little click on that thumbs up like button. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel already and you don't want to miss any of the test videos I do on this, then please do click the subscribe button as well. Thank you very much for watching. More videos coming soon. Bye bye now.